Hey everyone, back again with a shop update. I know it's been a little while since I put out a video, and apologize for that. With the holiday season going on and a few other headaches that I've had to deal with, it's stressful. Just trying to get presents for the kids and do the little holiday dinners and pay the more expensive winter bills out here in Syracuse and, that kind of stuff. It gets a little bit stressful, and it doesn't help that work has slowed down here at the shop, and a few things have kind of turned towards the worst, and that's Project CJ5. We'll talk about that in a second, though. But outside of that, I actually, outside of the stressful part of what's been going on here in the shop, I'm almost welcoming the break and a little bit of a breather time, because the shop was getting to the point where it was just a complete disaster in here, parts and stuff everywhere. So I spent quite a bit of time trying to get things straightened out. I'm not 100% done with that. I've got a lot of small tools and things like that I need to sort through and get organized a little bit better, but I got a big chunk of it dealt with, and I can actually move around in here now. And I have a good idea where my parts are and my tools when I need them. So let me show you that real quick. So you can see here, I got Project CJ5, the tub sitting on some sawhorses. I've got all of its parts there, either in the tub, next to it, on that bench, or underneath it. With the exception of the rolling chassis, which is right here, instead of over here. Part of the reason I need to move the chassis out of here is because I still have a roof leak up here. For those that have been following my channel, that was a problem, and they rebuilt about a quarter of the roof, and it still leaks. I'm also realizing that I have condensation problems in here because of the lack of insulation and whatnot. Over the last 3 or 4 days or so, we went from 20s to the single digits as far as lows and a lot of snow, to high 50-degree days. As a result, condensation ends up building up because the shop is holding temperature, and now I got it all over my ceiling and it's dripping all over everything. So anyways, I moved the chassis out of here because the roof leak is right here on the floor. You can see where it's kind of got this rust marks on the concrete, and it was dripping on the frame, and I didn't want that. I don't want to have to deal with that. So I took my bench out of there, put my spare engine and transmission out of Project Pathfinder, and my engine hoist over there. Like I said, moved all the CJ5 stuff out, and got my trailer project and my Polaris quad project sitting over here. Bunch of junk parts that need to go to the dump or sitting here in the trailer. Put my spare axles, my Dana 44 that I'm going to use for the solid axle swap on Project Pathfinder, and the spare rear axle over here, and then just all my small parts and tools are over here, and I'm still in the process of organizing all that stuff. So sorry about the lighting. I've got to address that. Fluorescent lights don't work well, especially old ones don't work well in cold temperatures. And these smaller ones that I got here from Home Depot that are only 4 foot long, they're T8 bulbs. They actually work really well. I don't have any problems with those at all. But these big 8-footers, the T12s, that were in this shop, I'm having all kinds of problems with them, and I have been for a while. My goal is to eventually just get rid of them and put a bunch of these smaller ones in here, but for now that's what I got. And replacing lights costs money, and I don't want to spend any money on that right now, so I'm going to do what I can to get at least one of these two here working again. They're trying to turn on, they're just not, so it's either the ballast or the bulb, so I'll figure it out. Outside of that, I got a rocket stove project that I'm going to be working on. I'm not going to talk to you a whole lot about that right now. It's nothing, if you're not familiar with what rocket stoves are, it's nothing as exciting as the name says. They call it a rocket stove because of the way it sounds. But they are very impressive as far as the technology is concerned. They're still wood burning, but they're much more efficient than the typical wood burning stove like I have here. And this is not typical, but you just basically have a wood chamber and you got the chimney and it goes out. With a rocket stove, it requires a lot less fuel, and it utilizes the draft out of the chimney to create a blowtorch type effect. Okay, so basically you start with a small pile of fuel, and the air getting sucked through in the draft causes like a blowtorch effect inside of the burn chamber. Heats up really, really well. So that's all I'm going to say about that. I'll explain when I get to doing the videos of this project, which will be here very, very soon. I'm hoping to have that done before the first of the year. I'm doing this as an experimental project with a professor from Syracuse University. So we're kind of winging it. We do have some plans to go off of and everything. And like I said, we'll explain all the details of that in great detail as I'm building this. We're just waiting on a couple more parts. And tomorrow I plan on heading to the steel supplier and seeing if they have some scrap that I can use for the leftover pieces that we need. So expect those videos. Now, about Project CJ5. This is the heart and soul of my current frustrations right now. CJ5, well, let me start with this. Long-term projects, especially on automobiles of any type, cars, trucks, even motorcycles for that matter, when you take them on as an individual, you run a really, really big chance of running into problems that cause you not to finish it. Whether if it's financial problems, the inability to accomplish something because you don't have the tools or the skill set, and maybe it's just costing too much money to go someplace, somebody else to do it, or maybe you just got in over your head. There's always a possibility too that you just get bored with it, and you're just like, I'm done, I don't want to deal with this no more. I've got stresses or other things in my life that I need to focus on, and I don't want to deal with this. All of those are very, very legitimate, high probability reasons for projects like this to just come to an end. With Project CJ5, when I got into it, I was under the impression that the customer had plenty of money to do with the project. Okay, I gave the customer a deal that I won't even tell people the deal that I gave him because it is so good. I mean, if somebody gave me that deal, I'd have handed the money in cash within a week. That's how good of a deal it was. But I offered him that deal because I wanted to do this project. I knew it wasn't going to be that difficult as far as what we needed to get done. I knew it was going to take some time. I knew it was going to cost a little bit of money on his end because he needed to cover all the parts and things like that for what we were doing. But I wanted to take on the project solely because I wanted to show all of you and all of the local people what kind of skills I bring to the table. Not that I could just weld up a welding table or a bench or something like that. I wanted to show them that I could take a car from its worst beater stage to the most impressive thing that you could expect to roll out of my shop. And that was the goal. I wanted to make a point, wanted to prove something, and that's why I did the job and offered it up for a steal of a deal. Unfortunately, the customer ran out of money. They're in a situation where they're not making very good money anymore, and I think we're just at a point where the project's just going to come to an end. we got about a 10% chance that we may continue on with it, and it actually might even be lower than 10%. We'll figure that out. I'm currently in negotiations with the customer, and we'll go from there. My goal is to have a definitive answer as to what we're doing with the project before the first of the year. Basically, the problem that we're having, I don't want to go into a lot of details about the problems, but I've done a lot of work to the project, and I did more work than what was paid. So we're at a point where if we stop the project, I need to get paid for the work that I did. If we continue on with the project, I need a big check for me to even continue working, because now I'm concerned that there's not going to be the money to finish it. I need the customer to catch up to me as far as the work that I've done, and payments, as far as payments are concerned. So that's where we're at. That's what we're trying to negotiate right now. It's part of the process. Anytime you take something on like this, you need to be prepared and realize that it's a high probability that you're going to end out in this boat. and I was fully aware of it. I knew it could come up. I mean, there's always the probability that me as a person doing the work might run into a problem. What if I hurt myself? You know what I'm saying? So with that being said, I'm going to tell all of you guys that are new to this business, make sure that you get everything written down in a contract. Every last stupid little teeny tiny detail. The what ifs. That's probably the most important. You need to describe what you're doing and what the expectations of the money, what the expectations are of you for the money that you're making, but you also need to cover the what ifs. What if you don't have the money to pay me? What if I get hurt? What if I can't continue on? Where do we go? What do we do? Lightning can strike. You just never know. So make sure you cover all that kind of stuff if you ever get involved in a long-term project. It is what it is. I would really like to continue on with it, but I think at this point, because it was supposed to be done before November, I think at this point I'm kind of right there with the customer, to be perfectly honest with you, where I'm just kind of done as well. I'm at a point where I need to do something significant as far as income is concerned, because I've got a lot of projects of my own that I want to wrap up and get done, and some videos for you guys, and I need to focus on getting more money here in my pocket. So Project CJ5's kind of in the way of that. So if I can part ways on this deal, that at this point it might be a good thing as far as Alvarez Metalworks and the future of this channel and everything else. So that's where we're at. Like I said, expect the rocket stove videos here real soon. Expect some other stuff here real soon as well. I do plan on using my Everlast PowerTig 210 EXT a little bit more here, probably right after Christmas, and on some small stuff, some small projects. I need to practice more with that, but I need to get the rest of my shop straightened out. I need to figure out what's going on with Project CJ5 and start moving forward on some other things. And that's pretty much it, I do want to tell you guys thank you for all the support. I will pick up the video production here soon. I plan on, to be perfectly honest, I'm probably going to stop taking on bigger customer projects. Like this rocket stove thing, this is perfect for me right now. It's decent money, and it's going to be a quick project. It's something I can do on off time. And the reason why I'm going to look more towards projects like that is because I think I just need to go out and find myself some stable income for a while, just so I can finish up projects like Project Pathfinder, the trailer build that I want to do, finish up Project Cyclone, Polaris Cyclone, and there's a lot of other stuff. it's a lot of other things that I want to get going that quite frankly, I just need more money for. So, and that's pretty much it. I've got a lot of tools too that I want to purchase, and if I'm not getting enough stable work in my shop to pay my bills and continue on with those projects at the rate that I want to continue on with them, then I need to find more income. So that's where I'm at, and that's where I'm going. And it's not going to slow down video production. It'll actually speed it up because there'll be more income in here for me to work on stuff. But that's it for the shop update. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for all the support that you've shown me. If you're new to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Go like our Facebook page. The link will be below. If you use Twitter, feel free to follow us on Twitter. That link will be below as well in the description. And that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Talk to you guys later.